Good evening, everyone, and welcome into yet another episode of the Forge Podcast. My name is Ryan Messer, and this is the Forge Podcast brought to you by Shotgun Sports Network of Alabama. Um, if you haven't joined, if this is the first time you joined us, we had our first episode last week. Make sure you guys go back and watch that. We had a great interview with Rick Carley, so make sure you guys check that out. Also, want to make sure you guys are following us on all of our social handles. This is a podcast about all Birmingham sports, whether it be the Stallions, the Squadron, the Legion, the Barons, or the Birmingham Bulls. We're going to have you covered on the latest from all the teams in the league. So make sure you are in the city. And so make sure you guys follow us so you don't miss a single episode. This is a weekly podcast, so we're going to have it for you every single week. And we will have you covered for all five teams of Birmingham sports. Again, we want to thank our sponsor, Blue Spring Living Water, for continuously helping us out and keeping us hydrated. Guys, it's really hot out there, and going to these games and all of that, it's really hot. And I want to thank Blue Spring Living Water right here for keeping us hydrated throughout the year. They kept us hydrated throughout the Birmingham Stallion season, and they're keeping us hydrated throughout the summer. So make sure you guys go to bluespringlivingwater.com. You can get it delivered right to your door, or you can pick it up at your local grocer. So make sure you guys go out and stay hydrated with Blue Spring Living Water. And with that, this is episode 2 of the Forge Podcast. We're going to lead off with the Birmingham Barons, who just had a 6-game home-and-home split series with the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Starting on Monday, July the 1st, Iriarte was on the mound to start a rare Monday night game at Regents Field. And with a couple of ground outs, strikeouts by both teams, and then a fly out center, along with a couple of walks and a single by Tim Elko, and even a pickoff by Edgar Quiero, made up a quiet first inning. And then in the second inning, the bats got really hot for the Trash Pandas with a triple and a hit by pitch, as well as a couple of singles and steals that gave Rocket City a 3-0 lead at the end of the second. Then that was only answered by a single run off of a hit by Edgar. By Matt Hogan. Which also resulted in a force out of Michael Turner at second. And the Barons just couldn't dig their way out of this one. After a 2-run top of the third, made it a 5-1 game there. And it just kept on getting worse for the Barons for that. The Trash Pandas wound up winning it 6-5 on Monday. The finals for that game were Trash Pandas with 6 runs off of 13 hits, 0 errors, and 8 men left on base. Barons wound up with 5 runs off of 10 hits, as with 0 errors and 10 men left on base. Tuesday was not much better for the Birmingham Barons, as the Trash Pandas struck early after Womack wound up deflecting a ball, what could have been a easy out to end the side, but wound up going back into the infield or the outfield, which allowed a run to score. And then Rocket City really got hot in with a 2-run homer in the third, and then a 3-run fourth inning to make it a 6-0 ball game. It was just too much for the Barons to overcome with a final score of 8-5. The stats for that game were Trash Pandas with 8 runs off of 12 hits. There was 1 error, and they left 7 men stranded. The Barons wound up with 5 runs off of 9 hits with 1 error, and they stranded 7 men on base as well. And then on Wednesday, the Trash Pandas struck again early on Independence Day with a double, bringing in a run at the top of the first. 2 runs and then the 2 runs in the second. A run off the next 4 innings for the Trash Pandas, making it a 7-1 ball game at the 7th inning stretch. The Barons wound up holding it together with a 7-run bottom of the 9th, which included a single by Brooks Baldwin to walk it off to close the Barons homestand. The Friday night, the Wednesday night fireworks for that one were really celebrated with that win there. The finals for that game were Trash Pandas with 7 runs off of 15 hits. There were no errors, and they stranded 12. The Barons with 8 runs off of 11 hits. There was 1 error, and then 6 men left on base. On Thursday, they wound up heading up I-65 to Madison, where they completed the second half of this series. The Barons struck first on Thursday, on Independence Day, after a Matt Hogan double brought in Orlando Martinez in for a run in the third. And then Rocket City answered with a couple in the fourth. The Barons went back ahead up in the top of the 7th, off of a fielding error and a wild pitch, which gave us 2 runs. However, unfortunately, the Trash Pandas would go on to win it after coming back with 2 runs of their own in the 8th. The finals for that game were Trash Pandas with 4 runs off of 9 hits. There were 3 errors and 6 men left on base. And Barons with the loss of 3 runs, 2 hits. There were no errors, and they stranded 7. On Friday, the Barons wound up striking first again, but but that would be their lone run on the night. With the Trash Pandas winding up scoring 1 in the 6th and then 3 in the 7th. The Trash Pandas wound up winning that one with 4 runs off of 6 hits, and then there was 1 error and then 3 men left on base. The Barons wound up with the lone run off of 5 hits, 1 error, and then there were 7 men left on base. On Saturday, the final game of the series started with Rocket City having a breakout second inning of 3 runs, including 2 of them being home runs. And they would just go on to score a total of 4 runs unanswered until the single run was brought in by the Barons at the top of the eighth. The Trash Pandas would go on to win that game 4-1, and wound up winning the series 5-1. The finals for that game were Trash Pandas with 4 runs off of 13 hits. There were no errors and stranded 8. The Barons wound up with the single run off of 5 hits. There was 1 error and then 3 men left on base. Been a rough few weeks for the Barons, guys. They looked really good in the first half, and then toward the end of the first half, they kind of started sloping down. Yeah, we lost a few guys, but it's crazy to see how much different this team looks. But there were a lot of transactions this past week. Let's jump right on into those. We had on Thursday, Independence Day, catcher Edgar Quiero got promoted up to the Charlotte Knights. So good luck to him. And then infielder Brooks Baldwin to the Charlotte Knights as well. Both these guys are really good guys. Really integral in the wins that we had in the first half. Both wound up with some walk-offs throughout the season so far. And Brooks Baldwin himself, guys, he's a really cool kid, really good kid, extremely talented. But I think what really makes him set apart from everybody else is he's got a very cool head. He's down to earth, and he knows, where he's at and where he's wanting to go. So he stays in the moment and plays for the moment. So we actually had the chance to talk to him before the season, and this is what he had to say about getting possibly promoted.
There's opportunities all the way throughout the season. It's just kind of whoever they feel like's ready, whoever they feel like they want to call upon and come and help the team. But for right now, as a team, we preach about it: be where your feet are, play where you're at in the moment, and if good things happen, they happen.
But like I said, you can see he's a really cool-headed dude. So I wish both of those guys best of luck up in Charlotte, and hopefully see them in the south side of Chicago eventually. We also, on the 4th, we wound up receiving Chase Pamel, which is a right-handed pitcher from Charlotte. And then we received right-handed pitcher Riley Gowans from High A Winston-Salem Dash. So good to have welcome to Birmingham to those two guys. On Saturday, we wound up receiving sending left-handed pitcher Kai Bush to the Charlotte Knights. So one of the best pitchers on the team. So we wish him the best of luck up there in Charlotte, and again, hope to see him hopefully in the future and on the south side of Chicago. As far as the standings go, Rocket City is holding firm in first place with Tennessee right behind them with only 1 game behind. The Barons are in third with 5 games behind, and the Barons are actually only 1 game ahead of Chattanooga, who are in last place in the division. So it's just, I think some of these transactions are kind of potentially hurting the Barons as far as their the success so far this season. They wind up going to Chicago or Pearl, Mississippi this week to take on the Mississippi Braves starting on Tuesday. So wish them the best of luck going out there. Can't wait to see them at home and back at Regents Field. There's not many games in July, so we hope to see, you know, hope to be able to get to some more games to cover for you guys. Switching over to the Birmingham Legion. On Friday, the Legion took the trip up to Charleston to take on the Charleston Battery. And it was a strong offensive performance in the first half, keeping for Charleston, keeping it in their offensive zone. It was a struggle for Birmingham to even get it into their offensive zone at all. The stalemate was ended eventually by a Charleston goal off of a penalty kick. And then after intermission, the Charleston Battery managed to to maintain that same pressure, keeping it in their offensive zone for majority of that half as well. And halfway through the second half, Charleston scored again with a shot which was deflected into the goal. The Charleston Battery wound up going on ahead and winning 2-0. It's just the Legion's kind of hurt right now, so losing some folks to the U.S. Camps and stuff like that, and then as well, we do have a couple injuries as well. As far as the standings, Birmingham drops down to 7th place, but they are still in playoff contention. So top 8 get into the playoffs. So we've got to hang on, try to make it through the end of the season. Hope to see some type of life, and hope to see it in the postseason. As far as switching over to the Birmingham Stallions and the UFL, we found out this week that the league is gauging season ticket member interest in Friday evening games for next season. So that means they're already starting this early to try to get that schedule going. So hopefully we can get a schedule pretty much released well ahead of the season for you guys. And then we also found out that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is honoring the 3-time champions Stallions with an exhibit featuring Adrian Martinez's jersey. As you can see right here, the exhibit right there up in Canton. As far as Shotgun Sports News, we are looking for devoted and passionate fans and just people that are willing to help out for the that may live in, if you live in Huntsville or in Madison, we would love to have you guys help out with Trash Pandas, covering the Trash Pandas and the Alabama Beavers. If you live down in Montgomery, we would love to have somebody cover the Montgomery Biscuits. So if you're interested in something like that and have the capability to take film and photos or whatever, please contact us at Ryan M at shotgunsportsnetwork.ca. You can see it right here. I'd love to get in contact with you guys. Just hit me up, send me what you'd be interested in, your availability, and just to have a little chat. We'll have an interview, stuff like that. But other than that, that's about all we've got. I hope to see you guys next week, and cheers.